Hi, everyone. We're live. It's 5:01. I'm a little late for our happy-ish hour. And I'm excited to be talking to Sharon Feldstein, who I've gotten to know a little bit, who's the mom of Beanie and Jonah Hill and Beanie Feldstein. And both of them are obviously, hi, your mom cares. I think we have this. Hold on. We're talking about sort of the incredible work they're doing right now to help people.
Hi.
Sharon, hi.
Hi, you're wearing your sweater. You look so cute.
I am wearing my sweater.
It's so hot. I brought mine, but it's too hot here, Katie.
Oh, is it? That's what my daughter Ellie said, that California is super hot. Is that right?
Today it's kind of a little bit cooler than usual that it's been. It's been like in the 80s and 90s. It's been kind of nice. Kind of nice to go outside and take a walk.
It's been miserable on the East Coast, rainy and gloomy and cold. But you're so sweet to say hi.
But you're a little sunshine for me, Katie.
Huh?
You're always you're like a breath of fresh air.
I'm trying. This is getting old. How are you doing it? Is Beanie with you?
Yes,
who is
actually,
part of your quarantine?
Okay, so it's just Beanie. My husband, I always think of Richie as like the old Molnar. Like I always laugh because every time you do your shtick, it's like we've been together for 40 million years. It's like he's like a grouchy version.
Well, John can get grouchy too.
But he's always on my Instagram and he doesn't know. I take pictures of him. I do videos. The kids die. He has no idea. He doesn't even know what Instagram is. So he's always on. I'm always making a joke about him that he has no idea. And he goes, "You didn't take that picture." I go, "No, I didn't. Why would I take that picture of you? I would never." But yes.
So can you show him to us?
Oh, he would never come in here. Never. As a matter of fact, I just walked in on accident for one of his calls and my music was playing. Because I thought I lost him. He goes, "Where could I be?" I go, "I don't know." And honestly, I have no idea why I even looked for you. Just to remind him to be quiet. And then I guess I was in one of his calls. So he said, "I'm going to come in when you're on with Katie." I said, "No, you won't, because you'll be too embarrassed." He won't. But maybe I don't know. I could see if he'll come in. I doubt it. I don't think
so. People are asking me what our sweater says.
Oh my God, is this the best?
Sweater. Tell us first of all, Sharon, tell everybody about this sweater.
Okay, so should we go right to the gift guide, or should we talk about the chat? I mean, I don't want to interview you, Katie, but
no. I think you can talk about the sweater because I think otherwise people are going to wonder
why you
what it says, and you have to read it backwards on Instagram. But it says because I said so.
Yes, because Mother's Day is not canceled this year. We have a campaign called the KISS campaign, and loving your mom is not canceled. So we have our first ever gift guide. We had a Christmas gift guide, but we never had a Mother's Day gift guide. And we love this. As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to be doing a podcast with Taria Joseph, who's Alicia Keys' mom, and Patsy, who's Adam's mom. And I think the title of our podcast
you have to tell everyone, Adam Levine's mom.
Adam Levine,
we'll talk about you and Patsy's relationship in a minute,
later.
But go ahead.
But so, because I said so is probably going to be the name of our podcast. I kind of wanted to do it like an Ann Landers, like Dear Abby, like, and give advice, but it's like, why? Basically because I said so. That's why. Because I'm older and I know. And that's it. Too bad.
So is this a special Mother's Day sweater?
So yes, we have a Mother's Day gift guide. I'll just go launch into the gift guide. Lingua Franca has been wonderful to us when we were doing a Christmas collaboration. It was because it's okay to feel blue, because a lot of people at Christmas felt like they always have to be happy or with a family or joyous, and some people get very sad during Christmas. So it was like a kind of, we gave them permission. It was a book that I happened to have the pleasure of being in. Scarlett, do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, so it was a book that she wrote. I kind of like love the title, and it's Not Okay to Feel Blue and Other Lies, but we twisted it with her permission to It's Okay to Feel Blue. And, so that was our Christmas guide. Our Mother's Day guide, I'm just like trying to not forget anyone, is Lingua Franca, Muse Jewelry, amazing charms. You would love it. You should look at it. And every charm, Beanie, all my daughters and I and girls, Jonah's fiance, picked. And every charm on all the girls in my life picked a charm. And every charm, the money goes to Your Mom Cares, to kids' mental health and physical health during COVID. So that's wonderful. Donald Robertson, he's a fantastic artist. Skin Fix, Lewis Miller, the florist. You know it in New York, right?
Right.
Where he sends you this unbelievable, did you see on my Instagram, these loose flowers from all over, and he has a tutorial. I'm going to do it after you and put it together.
Yeah.
And then he teaches you how to be like a florist.
My friend from Belle Flora is doing that as well.
It's amazing. And he has given us an incredible donation. Striped Sheep, which is a very lovely price. Striped t-shirts, Mommy and Me, matching. Art Sugar, fantastic trays. Did you see the vintage Game Boy tray that says "Just Stay Home"?
No.
It's super cool. I got one for Jonah. It's very cool. I like it a lot. Apotheke, Polka Dot England, who's a really good friend of mine since I was 10 years old. The most soft pajamas. And Because I Said So is a very amazing hair stylist, hair person. And it does a lot of people that you would know that I know. And, you know, obviously they're not working. So she makes these one-of-a-kind couture masks. Beautiful.
Wow.
Magnificent fabric.
So this is the gift guide, and it goes to support the charity you started.
100%. It's live right now. It started, I think we came out yesterday. We put it on yesterday.
So yeah. Now tell us about the work you're doing, Sharon, okay. And how the sort of why you started Your Mom Cares and what you're focused on. Okay, so I'll do it quick because it's long and I love to talk. As Vinny always says, I love being interviewed. I love it. Lucky thing, you're a great interviewer. And lucky thing, you like to talk too. So, okay, so we were in, Taria, who's Alicia Keys' mom, Patsy, who's Adam Levine's mom, and I did a PSA for President Obama. And it was for the Affordable Health Care Act. And at the end, Mrs. Obama, Michelle, says, "We nag you because we love you. Your mom cares." So because I have a company called Expert Management, and I have a whole career that you probably don't even know anything that I've ever done, but we can get to it. I can intertwine it in our conversation, but I will figure out a way to show you. But anyway, so I do branding and managing and trends and stuff like that. And I thought, Your Mom Cares, that is a fantastic brand. That reminded me of like Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Do you remember that brand back in the day? Right.
It really explains something like what it is. So the joke in my house was I would say, "Get me the White House," to my assistant Coco at the time. "Coco, get me the White House." And the kids would make fun of me. "Oh yeah, Coco, get her the White House." And I did have a guy named Brad Jenkins who used to answer the phone, who was the one that put this PSA together. And I said, "Can I own this brand? I want to, with the permission of the White House, because it was theirs, can I own the brand? Because you need to be a celebrity or influencer's mom to do something with it." And I said, "I promise I'll do something great with it. I promise I will." So that was a while ago. And so I trademarked the brand. And then about a year and a half ago, I said, you know, there are two big issues of the time, I felt, climate and mental health. I felt they were the two, if you will, most important and timely issues. So we kind of vetted a lot of issues, and we all agreed, as did our children, Adam, Beanie, all of them, that mental health was the issue that we would focus on. And everything that I always have done with my life has always been focused on kids, because I've worked with kids since I was very young. I was on the board of a charity for children since I was actually a cancer charity since I was 25 years old. Mm-hmm. So I've always been around kids, and I love kids, and you know, that's what we decided to do. So we vetted the cause. Once we came out with the cause, we partnered with two incredible partners. Mm-hmm. Can I tell you about them?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So, and I'll tell you what we're doing with COVID with them. So one is Children's Health Fund, which I'm sure you know if you live in New York, because yes. They have 3 mobile health units around New York and in the most vulnerable communities in the United States. So we partnered with them as soon as we started our nonprofit. However, this is how I'm going to segue back to Expert Management and my trends. Okay. So, however, because I'm obsessed with trends and being current, and I mean, obviously, like I care about that stuff, and because it excites me to be on the edge of anything, right? I went to Children's Health Fund and I said, listen, we will support you. We definitely will support your social worker. We'll do mental health on your mobile health units, because kids, God knows, if they're in an environment where they are, you know, in a vulnerable community, they're going to have mental health issues. But I challenge you to come up with something that no one's ever done. What's so funny?
Nothing. We're getting rid of.
I lost you.
No, you can hear me now. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So I challenge you to come up with something that no one's ever done. Really quickly, they met the challenge and then some, because we have funded the first ever group therapy for kids living in Skid Row that are homeless children. So every Wednesday night prior to the pandemic, we have a social worker that does group therapy with children that have no homes, that live on Skid Row. And it's amazing.
Can I interrupt for 2 seconds, Sharon? Because you get a lot in.
You could play the piano, Katie. I would love you to serenade me.
what was it about mental health? I mean, you had a lot of different things that you could focus on. And
Well,
I just am curious why
right.
you all decided this was something that you really wanted to tackle.
Because I'm going to talk for me personally. For me personally, I feel like it is the issue of our time, of our children's time. I've never seen so many children. I've never known so many children that have anxiety, depression, OC, like it's endless. I'm not just talking autism. There's so many different variations on, they call it now, actually, it's called behavioral health, which includes mental health. The psychiatrists have told me to speak in those terms, behavioral health, not just mental health. There are lots of things that fall under that umbrella. But if kids are going to school and they have to do drills to go under their desk because there could be a shooter, so that gives them anxiety that I did not really grow up having. You know, you probably didn't grow up having that as well. Kids are concerned. They're on the internet. They're on they see things
Right.
that children should probably not see.
Well,
Go ahead.
I was going to say anxiety levels are through the roof, and so many kids. And I interviewed someone named Vivek Murthy, who was the Surgeon General for President Obama, and he's talked about the fact that loneliness is a national epidemic, and college students and older teenagers are the most vulnerable population, in addition to elderly people who live by themselves. So you're seeing this epidemic of loneliness, in addition to anxiety, low self-esteem, depression. And I think there's so many different reasons. I think because social media didn't exist when we were growing up.
Right.
And we didn't know what everybody was thinking. We didn't know
or what they had or what they looked like. Right.
Yeah. And I think that they say what Ralph Waldo Emerson says, comparison is the thief of joy. And I think it wasn't so in our faces. I think sometimes we didn't feel good about ourselves, or, my sisters and I were always on diets growing up, but I don't think that we had this level of kind of self-criticism that seems to result from all the social media. I don't know. Does Beanie feel that way? She's got such healthy self. Is she there, by the way?
I will tell you, this is something I would like to say to you. Yes, Beanie's upstairs. She's promoting her movie that comes out next week, How to Build a Girl. Tell her she has
to come down and say hi.
She's working. I'm sure we respect that. Are you having a little rosé?
Yeah.
I see it. I'm having water. Here it is, water. It's early. I don't speak for my children. So that's why I'm super close to all my kids, my grandchildren. I don't speak for them. I answer for them. I make it an absolute effort. They speak for themselves. But I will tell you that I don't think it's a secret that, Beanie's like a super fantastic kid, very well adjusted, very grounded, very inclusive, very kind. I know I'm prejudiced, but
no, she is.
She's a wonderful girl.
She is such a sweet girl.
She's sweet.
And Jonah is such a nice boy too.
Thank
you. You did a really good job.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I have great kids, and I don't speak for them, so we can go on with that. But as far as why we picked mental health, I told you part of the reason why. Obviously, there's Instagram, there's bullying, there's acceptance, there's all the different categories of pronouns, all the things that people relate to nowadays. I feel like there's so many terms that I have to learn to speak correctly to this generation. He, she, we. Anything that I need to know, I try to know. But people are very sensitive to what's going on, and they see it. They have exposure like they've never had in their whole lives. And when they're exposed, it somehow gets into your brain, and it's hard to get out. And actually, that could segue to the Brain Manager, which is our other big project. We have funded at UPMC, which is University of Pittsburgh Medical Center. And we were humbled to hear that the digital behavioral tool that Your Mom Cares solely funded has become a game changer, because they said that we're in an earthquake of mental health issues now, and we're headed for a tsunami with children.
And tell us about that, the thing that was created.
Okay, so it's a mobile tool to deal with kids' anxiety and depression. The pilot program is just about finishing. It is actually that age group you just said. It was like, I think it's like 14 to 25, something like that, 14 to 20 something through college. And 500 kids, and it's by prescription from a pediatrician. So the results go into a medical file, and it's all registered. And it's an app on a phone, but it's not an app that you can download. You have to be prescribed it. And it's associated with, there are little tools and games, because what they're trying to do now is give kids tools so that they can take care of themselves. Because we do not have enough pediatric psychiatrists in the country.
That's true.
If you can afford it.
I know.
If you could afford it. If you can't afford it, it doesn't matter. So we were kind of a little ahead of the curve with digital mental health as well, the telemental health. So it's this app, and then you're matched to like a coach, but the coach has been trained. But if the coach sees any problems in this app or answers that seem off, you are immediately sent to a psychiatrist as part of this program. If there's any alerts, obviously if there's a 911, you're told to call 911, or the coach will call 911. But if there's if something, I don't really know the technical, I'm not a doctor, and there's HIPAA, but if the curve looks funny, or the answers start to change, or they're not answering anymore, or they're not playing with the tool or interacting, they immediately contact the psychiatrist in charge.
That's awesome. And is it free?
Amazing.
Do you pay for it?
Well, this whole pilot program is free, and what we're trying to do is get it. They've been asked for it around the country, and we want it to be part of, yes, Medicaid, Medi-Cal. We want it to be free to those who need it to be free.
So how can people support your organization? Obviously, they can go to your gift guide, and how do they do that?
Well, they can go to Instagram. They can go to yourmomcares.org, our website. You can text. We have 2 different texts. I always forget the text. Okay. Kiss a Mom is for Mother's Day. So Kiss a Mom 44321. You can donate, or you can go to our website and donate. You can go to our Instagram and donate. We'd love for you to buy in the gift guide. We'd love for you to donate. But honestly, we also just want to get, my COO is going to kill me now, but I also just want to get the word out there. I want people to start paying attention to their kids' mental health. We did a talk with one of the psychiatrists in Connecticut, and I said to him, Dr. Nash, I have a feeling some of these mothers, I don't even know their names, so I'm not going to give you their names, we're scared of their children. We're actually nervous to discuss things with their kids. I could just kind of read the room, and they were scared if the teenager was upset or angry, that if they went in, it could be the thing that threw them over the edge, and maybe they attempted suicide or did something dangerous. So I asked him, and I'm quoting him, so I'm not a doctor. He said, going into that room or connecting with your child or asking a question will never be the reason that they attempt to do something drastic to themselves. It will only help or be neutral. It will not be, if somebody is going to do that, it's not because their mother knocked on their door or father and said, how are you?
Right.
Or do you want to talk? So I thought that was an interesting bit of information to give out.
I think so too. And I think, as you said, it's a huge problem. And I think it's so important that you're getting sort of the mom community, and you're enlisting the help of moms all across the country to join you, right?
Everybody. We have moms in Nashville. We have moms now in Mexico, in Canada. Israel approached us, I think, a couple of months ago. We want all moms. Your mom cares. It's kind of like, you have a child, you care about the child, you care about somebody else's child, you care about the world. It's very scary, this world. I never expected it to be this scary, Katie, to be honest. When we started this, we had no idea about anything like this, but it's scary anyway. It's scary to live in this. It's not the way we grew up. I used to have so much fun on my street. I'm still friends with all my friends from Jericho, from Long Island. We had so much fun. We just would go out. We had our problems. Of course we had our problems. But also, I want to say one thing about mental health. So when we first started a couple of years ago with mental health, now it's getting better. And I'm proud of that, if we had anything to do with that. But I remember growing up, when my parents got divorced, I couldn't say the word divorce. We were the only parents in my whole neighborhood that were divorced. Cancer, do you remember when you couldn't say cancer? It was like a dirty word. And then, of course, there was the AIDS epidemic. And now well, not so much. As I said, I'm hoping it's changing. It's mental health.
I think that young people are much more comfortable sharing.
Yes.
I think because this is a sharing generation, as we've seen with social media, and they feel much more comfortable sharing some of the issues that they're having and being honest that they are going to a therapist or that they're having challenges with anxiety. Before we go, Sharon, I wanted to ask you about during the pandemic. Have you noticed, I know, an uptick? I talked to a woman in Miami who runs the 211 network.
Right.
That people can call for a whole host of issues. And she said because she's hearing a lot from a lot of teenagers who are extremely depressed because of the situation, disappointment, and their lives being disrupted. And I'm curious if you all are working with kids and what you've noticed in the adolescent population during this time.
So that would be mostly the brain manager, which is University of Pittsburgh. And those are the people that said that that the kids are, it's an earthquake and we're in for a tsunami. Their doctors are gearing up for like a war against mental health for
because of the
people.
Pandemic.
Well, here's what they said. I'll sum it up with this. It was great. I mean, it's a great way to sum it up. We have post-traumatic stress. You've obviously heard of that. They call it now pre-traumatic stress. They say that all the kids, well, not all, but a lot of the kids now that never had anxiety and depression will now be getting anxiety and depression from this pandemic. Kids that went to school, bye, mommy, bye, bye. Now the kids go downstairs and the moms are upstairs. They want to know where their mothers are. They're anxious if they're not in their vision. Younger kids I'm talking about now.
Mm-hmm.
The older kids are having post-traumatic stress without anything happening to them. They could be in a family that's safe and fine, but they're still having anxiety from the pandemic. Does that maybe answer?
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure
I think
answers your question.
I mean, I think it heightens a pre-existing condition of
Right.
anxiety that was happening without this pandemic. And now there are a lot of kids who won't have jobs. They're worried about what kind of employment they're going to have. Their parents are dealing with financial situations. They may have health issues because of the pandemic. So all of these things, I think, are contributing to a heightened state of anxiety for a lot of young people. So I feel like your organization is needed now more than ever.
I was just going to say, sadly, we are busier than we've ever been in our entire lives. And we are trying to juggle these things. We're trying to do, you can't go to Skid Row. He can't treat the kids there. So they're trying to figure out, we're pivoting to try to address what's going on so that we can continue to help. And I have to say our partners are so stellar. Oh, can I just add one thing? We have a new partner. I don't know if I have to go, but just for the month of May, this new company called Frame, and they match therapists to individuals, which is wonderful on, I guess it's on, I don't know if it's an app or it must be an app, but they're doing a free series with us where we have expert psychologists. So we're helping moms for the whole month of May, all age groups. If they, they can tune in and the therapist will talk directly to them and have an interactive group with Frame. So
that's awesome, because it really is upsetting to me that so many people, children, teenagers, and adults cannot afford to get the mental health assistance that they need. And it's just, particularly lower income people. I mean, mental health issues affects everyone, but for people who can't afford it, it's so important that they have access to some kind of counseling when they need it.
Because this pandemic is not an equalizer. It's an equalizer in who it may attack and who it may kill, but it is not even
that. I mean, we could get into all of that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Okay, call me back later. But what I'm saying is, but it's definitely not an equalizer in the situations that you just described.
Yeah.
And I worry about these kids. I worry about them anyway. And now, I worry about my grandchildren who are safe and comfortable and have food, right? And they will survive financially. Okay, but my grandson's bar mitzvah was canceled. I know it's really not the end of the world, but it's something. Graduations are canceled. Those are something. Weddings. These are all real things.
Oh,
and those are the lucky people. Those are the lucky people.
Right. And I just gave a commencement address for graduates through iHeartRadio, and these really important life milestones.
Yes.
I don't think I don't think it's a contest about who's suffering more.
No,
I think everyone is suffering, and their suffering has to be acknowledged and even honored.
Well,
But
that's what I said. Yeah.
but oftentimes those folks can get the help they need, and it's some of the people who don't have access who need help, and that's why I'm so happy that you formed this organization, Sharon. I think it's such a great public service.
I'm so happy that you're part of it, Katie. We're honored. I didn't get to tell you, like, I had 100 notes of things I wanted to say to you, Katie, that I didn't get to say. All of our mutual friends, I made a list. But I have to end. When I have to end, you have to give me 1 second, because it's how I end every interview. Not that I'm so popular, but it's how but I am popular. But it's how I end every interview. Tell me when it's ending, and I'll.
Okay, I will, and I'll tell you. But
these are our friends.
We can also do an interview and put it in my newsletter, Wake Up Call, so that you can get the information, because I feel like when people have it in front of them in writing.
Yeah, they can see it's tactile. Yeah,
Mary Lou Henner is so sweet. She wrote me a note today.
She's on our Expert Moms, which I didn't get to. She does memory and cooking.
I know.
She's one of my best friends, you know.
I know she is, because I saw you at her Broadway show.
Right, oh, that's right. That's when we saw her.
And anyway,
we have 100 mutual friends,
and so I think that we could do an interview and write it down.
Oh, be amazing.
For the moms who read Wake
that'd
Up
be
Call.
Great. She's my bestie. But this is how I end. If you're making me leave, even though I have 65 more pages of notes. I don't know if you saw on my Instagram, I took a picture of all mine. I never prepare. I don't like to prepare. But I'm like, you know, you're freaking Katie Couric.
You have this down. Don't worry.
Oh, I'm not worried. Trust me. I don't worry about that kind of stuff. Yeah. There are other things I worry about. But this is how I end every interview. I challenge influencers, okay? Because if you're going to make your money off of Instagram, and some of them have some talent. I own a company called Expert Management. Some of them just happen to have gotten lucky, and they have millions and millions of followers, or they're actors, or they're athletes, or what have you. I challenge them to give back. I'd love it if it was Your Mom Cares. I understand if it's not. Pick a cause, stand behind your cause, and don't just post it once because it might look good. Please do something good with your platform.
I agree. There's something called slacktivism, and that's really for everybody. That, you know, just kind of tweeting about something, you really need to be invested in something. You have to be able to
understand what you're giving the money to. Let's start with that.
Yeah,
and you have to you can't learn how to play tennis once. That's my, hit the ball over once and that's it. I mean, you gotta back it up. And you know what? Instagram's giving you this platform. Use it for good. You have a superpower.
I agree. I agree. And I think you're so right. And I think this pandemic has also sort of taught people that we all need to stick together, and we all need to have a sense of purpose to lead a rich, fulfilling life. And so 100%. Hopefully that's been a positive that's come from this whole crazy period in our lives that will be written about in the history books for many years to come.
What I heard from a doctor is when you're laughing, you can't be depressed at the same time. You can't, it's like not in your brain to be able to do that. So obviously our family has a pretty strong sense of humor, and I'm getting pranked on a day-to-day basis. I will end with that my children call me Lord Annoying, and I say, I love a title.
All right.
Okay, so that's it.
Thank you for talking to us. Everybody, if you want to support all the mental health efforts,
you look beautiful in the sweater, by the way.
It's go to yourmomcares.org.
Yes, or follow us on Instagram, or
including this wonderful lingua franca shirt that I purchased, that says "Because I Said So."
$100 of each sweater goes to Your Mom Cares. They're a great partner. They are
a great partner. I love them too.
We have a lot of great partners. Amazing.
All right,
partners.
Sharon. Big kiss. Thank you for talking with us.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.